Hi, I'm Walter Reins, ISA certified arborist with Russell Tree Experts, and today we're going to go over the proper methods for staking a tree. The materials we'll need today are as follows: a sledgehammer, 6-foot wooden or metal stakes, 6 to 8 inch lengths of cut pieces of hose, a pair of scissors or a sharp knife, and wire or cord. In addition to the necessary materials, it's recommended to wear safety gloves and glasses when working. So today we're going to be demonstrating proper staking on this newly planted crabapple. We'll get started with stake placement on this. It's important to remember we want the stakes in a location where they're not going to interfere or rub or break some of the branches of the tree, but we also don't want to put them so far away that we're using excess material, wire or cord, or they might interfere with, in this case, the lawn area around the tree and make mowing a little more difficult. We've got a beautiful mulch ring here to be able to work within, and that's going to give us enough space to properly place, in this case, 3 stakes around the tree. So as mentioned, we might use metal stakes or wooden stakes. In this case today, these wooden stakes have a little bit of flex in them, which is actually a good thing for a small tree. And we're gonna install this first one at a little bit of an angle out so that we have a little room for it to bend in when we apply the cord. So we'll hammer this into the ground. Remember, we're using 6-foot stakes in this case. We're gonna get this in the ground to about 4 feet or so, and then we'll move on to the next one. We're placing these 3 stakes evenly spaced out around the tree. In some applications, we might use just 2 stakes, depending on where the wind might be coming from or what the need for staking is. So now we'll get started on the next step. We've got our stakes in place and we're going to, in this case, use cord today. This is paracord that we had available. You can also use cable or other types of cord. The important thing, regardless of the material we're using for this, is that it is around the tree in a method that is protected. So we're going to use these sections of hose, and the purpose of this is to have something to run the cord or wire through so that it doesn't dig into the bark of the tree. As the tree moves in the wind, there's going to be the potential for bare cord or wire to dig into the bark. We want to really avoid that at all costs. So we'll get started installing this first piece of cord and garden hose section around the tree. We'll measure out the length of cord that we need between tree and stake, and then give ourselves a little bit of extra to work with. When we tie this off around the tree, a simple double overhand knot, in this case, should be enough to hold this in place. So we have this in place around the tree. The hose is protecting the bark of the tree, so this cord doesn't put a lot of acute pressure in one area. We have this tied with a simple double overhand knot, should hold it. Important to see that this is loose around the tree and not girdling the trunk or tight and choking around the trunk. From here, we can take this cord out just about parallel to the ground and find our proper positioning around the stake, or to the stake rather. As we determine this length, we don't want to excessively pull on the tree. We're not looking to get this as tight as possible. We really just want this line to be just taut, just basically held straight, and we can determine that location on the stake. And then a couple different tying options. There's lots of different knots available. We can go with a few simple wraps on this stake and then finish it with a couple of overhand knots We're not trying to tie anything here that needs to hold any real weight. So that's going to be sufficient.
Yes, gentlemen.
Next step is to go through that same process 2 more times, 1 for each stake. Just to clean up our work as we finish here, we can, in this case with paracord, tie off the ends. This wouldn't be necessary with wire. Or maybe you just need to clip the excess wire. With paracord, we can tie a little knot since it likes to fray on the end, and then cut just in front of that so we have a nice clean finish on our stakes there. Regarding the maintenance of a staked tree, assuming we were going to leave these in place, we want to leave those in place for about a year's time, 1 full season. That's going to give the tree that full season to establish a root system. After that, we should be okay to remove the stakes. If at that time you notice the tree was still loose in the ground or subject to leaning in the wind, it might be necessary to extend that another season. Throughout that first season, we want to also be checking to make sure that everything is holding as it should, the knots on the stakes. These are going to be able to move around. They were positioned just above a branch here and then stacked on each other, so they should stay pretty much in place. If they move around a little bit here, that's actually a great thing, so they're not constantly digging into the same spot. With a young tree like this and any newly planted tree, it's a great idea to also fertilize the tree for the first several seasons. We want to do everything we can to encourage the establishment of the tree in its new location, and fertilization is a great way to supplement the nutrition the tree is maybe lacking in the typical urban environment. That's it for this tree staking demo today. Below in the description is a link to an article in our Russell Tree Experts Arbor Ed page on our website that goes into great detail about the staking of trees, when to stake them, when not to stake them, as well as a link to the for a demo of the knot that we use for the project today. Hope you enjoyed the video today, and we'll see you next time.